I don't have an awning at all. And man, it was brutal. I had to hang out with you guys because one, I like hanging out with you, but two, you had a lot of shade and White Claws.
I heard it was brutal. I had to hang out with you guys. I was like, why are you in here, Melody? You have tuned in to Remote Trails Radio. We're your hosts, Garrick and Melody, take you off the beaten path into the world of overlanding, life in the Pacific Northwest, and whatever the heck else we feel like chatting about. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's hit the trails together.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for tuning in today. My name is Melody.
And I'm Garrick.
And you are listening to Remote Trails Radio.
We are also Remote Trails Radio. Either way it works. Am I remote or you trails? Well, which is which?
Yeah, it depends on the day, I guess. But yeah, we're here to talk about the big thing.
Big thing. We're not there. So we sound hopefully a little bit clearer than our last couple of recordings. We had planned to record there, but then we were just too busy doing stuff. So I guess that's a good sign.
I mean, it was like 2 days of driving there and 2 days of driving back. So
yeah,
we had some stuff going on.
Right. Do you have AC in your apartment?
Yes.
Is that a thing you have? I bet that feels glorious in comparison.
It does. I searched very hard for this place. So yes, and it has a very strong AC. So I'm actually freezing. I had to go put a hoodie on.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
A little contrasting to our experience at the big thing, where we were basically melting. Right?
When we left there, it was 109 degrees, right?
Really? It got that high? Wow.
It was 109 when we were in the Rivian driving around the back 400.
Wow.
At 5 o'clock.
That's wild. Anyways, listeners, welcome. You're hearing us back in our cozy abodes with our air conditioning. And we just wanted to recount our experience over near Three Forks, Montana at the Big Thing, which is hosted by XOverland Collective.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very thankful to them.
Yeah. So, Melody, what is the Big Thing?
It's a 3-day overland experience built around real-world skills, hands-on driving, and shared moments under the stars.
That is the party line.
You get all that?
Yeah. And that's pretty accurate. Technically, we weren't there on Sunday, so there is a Sunday part. But I think Sunday's just leaving. And then the Thursday, everybody just sort of arrives. And then they did have a welcome party for us on Thursday. So I think they're probably thinking more of like Thursday, Friday, Saturday are the 3 days. Or maybe this is just the same copy that they had from the first year and they added an extra day. I'm not sure.
It's very structured. So Thursday between 1 and 6 p.m., you have to check in. And if you're coming from far away, that's a very small window of time to check in.
Yeah, that's a good point to talk about our getting there, because we were coming from Seattle, and from Seattle, it's about 11 hours of driving time, not including any stops. So for us to hit that 6 p.m. timeline, if we left during the day on Thursday, would be a pretty early start. So instead of doing that, we elected to leave the Wednesday night after work and head about halfway to the Spokane area. And that was a little adventurous, especially for you, Melody. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Wait, sorry, say it again.
Okay. Why don't you tell me about the adventure on your way to our first campsite in Spokane? We were driving an I-90 and they closed it just as you were arriving.
Oh, man, Yeah, it was an adventure for me. Oh, man. So I'm like the queen of loopholes. So if there's a road closed, then I'll find 5 other ways to get around it, right? And so they closed I-90 and there were no signs anywhere. It was just these giant orange cones. So I was like, all right, well, we're all getting off the highway now. And then I was like, well, I'll just take Old Vantage Highway, which is right next to the highway, and I'll take that to go to Vantage Bridge. And then I want to say I'm like 15, 20 minutes into driving. And then I come to an intersection where the police had completely blocked off the path to the bridge. I could have done that before. But they decided to do it there, and they were turning everybody around because of the fire, they said. And then later turned out it was due to visibility of the fire. So this fire erupted pretty quickly, and it was only 500 acres. I think it turned into 800 acres later that day. So it wasn't super huge. So we didn't really know about it. I had my Watch Duty app on, but I didn't think they were going to close the highway.
Yeah, that Vantage area just traps fog in the winter, so I wasn't surprised to hear that's what the cause was for that fire, that it just hurt visibility. Because if it's not windy, it just traps it and just sits there, and it gets super dense.
Yeah. So long story short, I radioed into Garrick, who wasn't even there yet, and I told him where to go, and then we had to take the long way around.
Yeah, being an hour behind you, you became the forward scout for our operation, which was pretty great.
Yeah, but it wasn't such a bad detour. And then
well, it put us back about an hour. So I think we arrived at Fish Trap at around more like 11:30.
A lot later than I expected.
Yeah, because we were planning on getting up at 5 a.m. the next day, so that kind of changed that plan a little bit.
Yep.
But, yeah. And then Fish Trap was our designated dispersed camping that I'm usually a little wary about showing up at camp at night and not knowing where I'm going to camp. But we had received this tip you got it from Zach, right? He's the one you told me about Fish Trap. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And assured us that there'd be a lot of options. And there were. We were able to eventually find a spot. But it was surprising for a Wednesday night how many people were out there camping, and also just how many people were still driving around the area. Because that was 11:30 on a Wednesday night, which is, I don't know. I'm usually fast asleep by then.
Yeah, I would say maybe if you're alone, maybe don't camp there. It just didn't seem like the friendliest of places for places that I've stopped. I think I would have preferred to maybe be on the side of the side of the road or something at a rest area at that point. But since I was with you, Garrick, I think it was fine. It was just like if I had been by myself, I don't know, didn't feel like warm and fuzzy as a dispersed location.
Yeah, there's also train nearby, so you can get train sounds. And then the dirt that we were on was like super soft dirt. It was fine to drive on, but I just noticed that my shoes got immediately caked.
He got everywhere.
That first night, immediately.
It's all over the inside of my car.
Right? Man, that coming clean from the city before getting to our camp did not last very long. We got to show up at the big thing already freshly dirtied up. So,
yep.
But yeah, it worked out okay. And then we left around... Do we leave at 7 in the morning, or
it's like 7:30?
A little early, yeah. And then we headed not directly to Three Forks, but we made a stopover in Phillipsburg to do a pretty fun activity that you had found with the sapphire mining.
Yep, I just wanted to spice up the long drive.
Yeah.
And specific Montana sapphire mining. That is, I guess, a specific type of rock. So
the Montana sapphire is a specific kind of rock. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you think that was fun?
It was different. And I think it was fun because we drive over gravel so often. So just to think of all the magical things that might be underneath the gravel beneath us.
It was just a bucket of rocks.
Right. Yeah. And you had to wash them first, and you had to do this special method within this metal tray to shake them and try to get like all the big rocks to the outside and all the smaller rocks to the inside. And I guess because of the density of the sapphires, by doing that, you brought them more to the center. So eventually when you came back and very expertly flopped it over on the table, because you kind of have to do the pancake flip to it.
The flipping. Oh,
yeah. Theoretically, that leaves all the sapphires in the center for the most part. So then you can kind of focus on the center. And then after that, you can start pulling away the sides and sifting through it.
Yep. We went to the Gem Mountain shop in Phillipsburg. But you can also go to the Gem Mountain mine, which is a half an hour away. But just for time, we decided not to do that. The mine is only open in the summer. In Western Montana, you can actually go to several different places to mine for Montana sapphires in that area. So should you be so inclined and coming from the west, it might be a good stop for you, as long as it gets you there in check-in time.
Yeah, it only had less than a half hour if you're just traveling on 90 to do that detour through Phillipsburg. And actually, the drive was pretty beautiful, too. I especially appreciate it because I've done that 90 route so many times. The 90 route's beautiful, too, but it was nice to see something different as well.
Yep. So we made our check-in time, which was important.
Yeah. By an hour, we met up with Zach along the way as well. Oh, we should probably say who Zach is. You want to give an introduction? Zach
this is a different Zach.
He's not a guest on here, but yeah, we have a different Zach that joined us.
We had a different guest and is an overlander by the name of Zach. And he has a long history with overlanding. He has a Jeep Gladiator with a GFC topper on it. And then he also helps rescue for the WARN Network, WORN, for off road recovery. And then he was helping volunteer with me over at NWOR, leading trail rides.
Yeah, and he has I think it's a JL Rubicon Gladiator, and then he has a Go Fast Camper topper on it as well. It's a pretty sweet rig. And he has a dog named Jax, which is
Jax.
a sweet 12-year-old dog.
Yeah, and we had to leave all of our dogs with sitters because it was going to be a roasty toasty weekend. I don't know if that's normal for the area. Some people said it was
apparently.
not.
Yeah.
But man, it was scheduled to be pretty hot. So we left our doggos with sitters that had air conditioning.
Yeah. Which they may have been pissed at us, but if they only knew what the alternative would have been.
Yeah, so we wanted to kind of structure this episode to anyone listening who just wants to hear about it or actually wants to attend next year, either as an attendee or a vendor. Hopefully this will be some useful information for you.
So we got there, we checked in, we were camping next to the lake, which was pretty handy when it was a super hot weekend like it was.
Yeah.
And then I think the one Thursday event was the sort of welcome talk. And did they have drinks on Thursday, or was it Friday and Saturday only? I think it may have been Friday and Saturday only.
I can't remember.
Clay and Rochelle stepped up and gave sort of the welcoming speech, which I thought was cool. And not only did Clay say, hey, this is an event for us. I think he used the term consumer, but like vendors are invited, but this is a consumer event, right? So it's supposed to be here for us to commune and learn from each other. And then he said something that I found kind of inspiring was he said, what is a big thing? And he said, it's something that you're looking forward to that's big in the future. Probably takes a lot of work, a lot of planning to make it happen. It might be a little bit scary because it might be a little bit out of your comfort zone, right? And it's something that because of all those efforts that you're putting into it, it's going to be a major payoff. So he then closed out saying, what is your next big thing? And then invited people to talk to their neighbors and kind of get to know people around you. So I thought that was a pretty cool way to start off the event.
Yeah, I love that. They did a similar thing in the morning too, right? On the first day, the Friday.
Yes. Yeah. A little bit less so, but they've mentioned about sort of the ranch motto, which is come inspired, leave equipped, which I think that was definitely in the DNA of this event specifically. I wanted to ask you though, Melody, when Clay said that, what came to mind for you? What is your big thing?
Did he say that in the morning? Because I was asleep.
I think he actually said, I know I may be misremembering, but I think he said it on Thursday. But if not, I just told it to you now. So what came into your head?
That's what I'm here for. I'm here to hear what happened. When he asked, what is your next big thing?
Mm-hmm. Anything come to mind for you?
It's hard to think about that because I've lived a lot of my life letting the big things happen. Mm-hmm. So rather than saying in 5 years and 10 years, I want to do this. And I know that's definitely ingrained in me. People saying that you have to have goals and go towards them. And it's so important. But I think there's something to be said about leaving room for big things to happen too. And I think throughout my life, I've had a lot of big things happen. So it made me just kind of jump to my past where I've done so many big things and I haven't even had time to reflect on them. They just happened and you kind of like just move on and life keeps going. And then you realize later, you're like, wow, that was kind of a big deal.
Okay. So I'm hearing is your big thing is be flexible for when the big thing hits you in the face.
Yeah. You have to, how do I say this? Be open to being there at the right time, right place. Because sometimes when you have such a restrictive life where a lot of things are planned, and sometimes you aren't available for that. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I think it's a mixture. I get what you're saying, but I also feel like if I didn't plan stuff, that I would just end up watching YouTube constantly and laying on my couch. So I have to plan things and think about them. Yeah. And that's part of the fun for me too. The looking forward to stuff and planning stuff is absolutely part of the enjoyment.
Yeah, absolutely. Did anything come up for you specifically?
Oh, so many things. I mean,
Oh,
there's
okay.
the very near big thing, which is the Oregon BDR run that I'm doing with Zach, the other Zach's, motorcycle Zach. And then also his girlfriend's Teresa's bringing us down. So it'll be kind of the adventure of the three of us. And then we're going to be meeting up some friends at the beginning of the Washington BDR Section 1 on our way back. So that'll be Cody and Josh. So it's actually growing in size as we've been planning this out, which is cool. So that's like the near term thing. The next big thing, I've been talking about this camper truck thing. I'm trying to make that happen. And then longer term stuff is, okay, rent the house, move somewhere, or live on the road for a while, that sort of thing, right? So that's the kind of ideas that could start rattling in my head when I think about big things.
Nice.
Yeah.
A lot is possible.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, there's a lot of different components to the big thing. I would say it has overlap with the expo, but it also is very much its own thing. Where would you like to start?
Why would you go? If you're an attendee, it would be because you maybe want to get inspired. Maybe you want to have some community. Maybe you just want to talk to somebody about overlanding because your friends are already sick of listening to you talk about it. If you're a vendor, it's a great place to connect with your target audience, showcase some new ideas. And maybe we should start with some pro tips if you're going to go, especially if it's hot like it was this time.
Well, for one, get your ticket early. Follow XOverland on whatever social media you use and make sure that you're kind of dialed into when they open them up. Because when we bought our tickets for the camping, it was like 2 days before the end of a month. I don't remember which month it was. It was like February or March or something like that. And you bought your tickets like the day of they announced it. And I was like, oh, I had this like strict budget that I follow. And I was like, I'll just wait 2 days so that I can count it against next month's budget. And in those 2 days, all of the lakefront spots had been sold out on the campsite. So I was like, what? But thankfully, like they had realized there was a lot of demand for the lakeside campsites. So they actually opened up a second row. So I was able to get a second row. And then Zach, apparently months later, was also able to get a second row. So
who knows? How it works. On social media today, they did announce the dates for next year. It is going to be July 8, 9, 10, 11, 2027. So if you're thinking of going, you have to block that in your calendar. And if you're coming from far away, block the day before and the day after because it's far. It's far from Washington.
You'll see a lot of cool overland rigs on the drive, though, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it was so funny. We even saw our friend when we were driving back. Got a little honk and a wave. It was like, oh, hey, we know them.
Sticking on the tips related to camping. This is one is a little bit specific to me, but also would apply to anybody with allergies. I have extremely strong alfalfa allergies, and the camping is in an alfalfa field essentially that they just cut down. So that was a problem for me most of the weekend. There were moments where I was just absolutely feeling miserable. I was able to eventually work around it. Thank you, Melody, for your cold compress. That absolutely helped me a lot. Prior to you giving me the rag, I was using a couple of White Claws.
Putting those White Claws to work.
It was the only thing that felt good. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do whatever I have to do.
You had them on your eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, he is not feeling well.
No, I felt so horrible. So that was not awesome, but yeah.
Another pro tip is to get an e-bike or a small dirt bike to ride around because everything there is very spread out and it's a lot of walking, especially for someone like me who doesn't walk a ton. It's a lot and you're doing it in the middle of the day. So when it gets hot, you got that extra added issue where you're going to have to carry your water bottle around, stay hydrated, bring an umbrella, or wear a big floppy hat, lots of big floppy hats.
It was funny because when I was first looking at the schedule, I noticed there was at least a half-hour gap in between each talk, if not longer. I was like, that's really long. And Overland Expo only gave us 10 minutes. And then I realized, like, oh, everything's super far apart. So like you literally need the half hour for some of them.
Absolutely.
That's a good tip.
If you're a vendor, I would say prepare for that as well because vendors will bring their vendor tent for their space. But some of the aisles are very exposed. And so if you expect people to come visit your booth, they don't want to be standing in the direct sun. So you have to figure out some kind of tarp system that's extra to your tent, or put your tent back and create a front porch so that you have some area with shade to invite people in. Because, yeah, getting in and out of the sun, that was a really big deal for us. We weren't going to stick around the vendor area if it was too hot. But if you had misters or anything welcoming, then that's a great way to go.
I didn't get a chance to go in it, but I heard that the silencer company, they had that big air blow up giant tent.
Yep.
That apparently they also had AC in there too. So I was like, oh, that's prime right there.
I did walk by it. It did seem very cool. It was like this big inflatable tent that was really huge and deep.
Yeah.
So that you could kind of go in, and there were a lot of people in there.
Yeah. I think that explains why. So good on them for sure. Also, just as a camper, having some sort of way to keep the sun off of you while you're just chilling at camp is super handy. So I got good use out of my awning this time around. And then Zach also had the 270 on his. So we kind of pointed our vehicles so that our awnings could kind of be right next to each other and maximize our shade as a result of that.
Yeah, I might have purchased a hammock awning today because I don't have one. I don't have an awning at all. And man, it was brutal. I had to hang out with you guys because one, I like hanging out with you, but two, you got a lot of shade. And White Claws.
I heard it was brutal. I had to hang out with you guys. I was like, why are you in here, Melody? Well, that's cool because that's the awning ever. But that might not be your only upcoming purchase either, because I know that you had high hopes for using a cooler for some frozen goods, and quickly realized why we don't use coolers.
Man, I bought an igloo cooler from Target thinking that I was all set and I was just going to have ice for days. That is not the case. It was after day one. There was already no ice. So all my ice cream went to waste. We were able to salvage a few, but that was it.
Yeah, bummer for sure.
It was a bummer because you can put your little neck ice things in there too. Anything to keep you cool would go in there. My drinking ice, all of that. Nope, no good. So that got returned. I'm going to have to get a fridge freezer combo, dual zone fridge. Yep. That's going to have to be my future too, which changes up my whole interior of the car. Your car is built to spec. And so you change one thing like that where you're like, oh man, now I have to accommodate for a larger fridge. Now it kind of throws everything else off. So I have to think about that.
Indeed. Got to stay modular.
Yep.
I would say bring a swimsuit. Who knows? Maybe next year it'll be like the expo. It's super cold and windy. It'll be a totally different experience. Having a swimsuit was great for this one because the lake, they have a dock you can kind of walk out on with a ladder, so you don't have to stomp out into the mud. And then they have this floating platform in the center, which was pretty fun to hang around as well.
Yeah, it was great.
I do say you should probably check the water before getting into it, though, because there were reports of somebody seeing a rattlesnake swimming through the lake. So that's always a concern.
There are definitely rattlesnakes in the area, too. So
yeah. We met Eli Croft. It was one of the sons within the Croft family. And he was saying that I think they had found and removed 8 rattlesnakes. And then they're looking to do the thing where I guess you can track them and find out where they go to their dens. They're in the process of de-rattlesnaking the properties. So it should get better over time.
Yeah. And speaking of Eli, the staff was insane. So this big thing, this event went off without a hook. The staff was amazing. Sometimes they're driving around in side-by-sides, giving you a lift. They're coming around and taking your trash all the time. They had made sure that this company was coming in every day and refreshing all of the outside porta potties. The areas were kept really clean. There were bathrooms inside this one area, and they were kept clean. It went really well.
Yeah, the operational excellence was top notch. This made me wonder if this is just because they've done all these expeditions and they just know how to plan mission critical stuff and get things done. And that translates well to running events like this.
I do not know what it is. I would like to know their secret, but it was very well done, I felt.
Yeah, for sure. Agreed.
Because I mean, every speaker that you heard, they had great microphones, speakers, presentations. Their technology was good. I don't know. There wasn't anything bad about this event. There wasn't anything where I was like, oh man, I wish they had done this better.
Except for maybe the night run.
Okay, well, I don't have anything good to say about the night run, but it's their own, because some people on the radio at the end were like, oh my God, thank you so much. This was so great, and
yeah.
I don't know what to say. I think maybe some people love that, where it's Instagram worthy and they're getting filmed and there's drone footage and lots of photographers around, and people can finally show off the $5,000 they spent in lights on their car or something.
Mm-hmm. I was happily asleep
it's just
when
not
that
me.
happened. Yeah, I wasn't part of that because I was happily sleeping, and that was great. I get such great camp sleep. But saw Ozark Overland Adventures just posted their Big Thing video today, so I was watching a little bit.
Okay.
And they showed the picture of all the cars going up the mountain, and it looked awesome. From an observer, it looked really cool. So
okay.
The observers got to enjoy it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's just not my kind of wheeling.
Yeah.
I want to be out there with some friends, taking it easy, being safe. And I don't know. It wasn't my thing. I shouldn't have gone.
Yeah.
But I was excited. It was late at night and it was finally not 100 degrees. And I wanted to be in my car with air conditioning and see what the back 400 was about.
Nice. Yeah. And you got to experience it again in the daytime on a Rivian. So that was a neat contrast, literally, between the two.
Yep, sandwiched right in between Garrick and Zach in the back row.
From the center.
My head was like hitting the ceiling. Yeah. Yeah, it was good. Actually, we were in that car for so long. I want to say we were in there for an hour and a half, maybe.
It was a while, yeah.
So we got to learn a lot about a lot of things, not just Rivian, but a lot of things. You guys wouldn't stop asking questions.
Well, Zach was super prepared. He knew everything about that. I was like, wow, I didn't realize Zach was such a Rivian fan. He's like, oh, I just read about it the night before. I was like, okay, but like when? I don't understand. I don't.
When the night drive was keeping him up because they were shining lights through his tent,
and
he couldn't go to sleep. I know, right? Yeah. Those are some long days. I mean, you wake up early and then you're up all day. You can't take a nap. It's too hot. And then you're up all night. Happy hour starts at 5, maybe 6. And then, you
depends on the day, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
So another pro tip before I don't even know if we've gotten to categories yet, but pro tip, make friends with the people at the booths. Your vendors are there to show you a good time.
Mm-hmm. Find out about the secret parties, the things that's not on the
and for the vendors, schedule. Have things to do after hours. People will come. So definitely the after hours. So there were a few booths for us that got together. It was Aether, Howl, and Trail Feast. And they got together and made some of the best camp food. Some of the best camp food.
Yeah.
Shannon's probably listening. So I don't want to poo-poo that because Shannon's food is amazing. But it was very fancy, like 5-star food while camping. And then jungle juice, which Garrick was a big fan of this jungle juice.
Yeah, I probably should have had just one of the jungle juices.
You should have just had one.
Yeah.
But you had to. It was so good. Yeah, and we only knew about that because we had come by those booths earlier in the day. We were chatting with them, learning about their stuff, and they're like, hey, come by later. We're having a party at 7. Yeah. And sure enough, that's where a lot of people were when we showed up back to the vendor area.
Absolutely.
We're taking a break. It's Melody jumping in to say we're hanging out on Instagram if you want to keep up with the Overland nonsense. And if you're on Apple, Amazon Music, or Spotify, go ahead and download the episode so you don't lose us. All right, back to it.
Tangentially, because you mentioned how they have the very special propane heaters that have convective heat. So they're better at outputting heat. And I had only known about the really big one, which is the original one they came out with, which can work for really large crews, which is cool. But for me, it's also just way too big to carry. Well, it turns out they have a small and a medium size now. So you can get one that's more like the ammo can size. And then they have kind of one in between their big one and the ammo can size one. So they probably have a size that fits your needs potentially. So I thought it was kind of a neat thing to find out that I just hadn't known about until I went to the show.
Oh, one person in our group won it at NWOR and then promptly used it right after he won it. So we got to experience the benefit of it. And it was great. It was a great camp stove.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I also had heard a rumor that Midland is releasing their micro mobile radio with a Bluetooth microphone on it. So I wanted to ask them, okay, cool. I already love the idea of not having a cord for my microphone because I'm already using Bluetooth with Beep Tech and it works pretty good, but I still have to use the microphone because my headset's not great. for the microphone. So I'm still working with the cord. The cord's annoying. But also, if they have Bluetooth in there, then maybe that means you can also use a headset for listening like I do. So I wanted to ask them about that. But turns out that that's not official yet, because the question I got was that they can neither confirm nor deny what I was asking about. So I was like, okay, well, that's not a denial. So anyways.
Putting them on the spot. They're like, we're working on that. Stop it.
Yeah. So some excitement from Midland down the pipe, it sounds like.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any other brand updates?
I didn't have a lot of opportunities to look through brands this time. We had just done the expo, so I had visited a lot of the brands that I was specifically interested in stuff. Honestly, I just didn't. I think I did want to go check out some of the expedition rigs just because they're just cool to see, but I just didn't have time because there were just too much cool stuff going on.
Everyone's so spread out. You'd have to walk for days to get there.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm like, if I do this again, if I somehow find a way to get past the allergy issue, I would definitely bring a bike. But I checked
you have
out
from
Flated.
Now till July to get allergy shots.
Yeah, right. It's not going to work. It's never worked my eyes for whatever reason. I visited Flated, which does these air toppers. It's more than just air. They started with truck toppers, canopies, but they've since expanded from there. Since I'm planning on getting a truck soon, I'm going to have a period of time where I buy a truck and I won't have a camper. So I want to find, okay, what am I to do in the interim? And I think the Flated is an interesting idea because you can store it very easily because it deflates down to the size of a deflated paddleboard. And then when you want to use it, you can just air it back up with your air compressor, right? And just throw it on the back of there. And it has windows too. And it has an opening back hatch. Better than the metal canopies, the back hatch will go all the way up. So you're not hitting your head on it when you're like getting on top of the tailgate to get in. So I was talking to them and they had a bunch of other stuff too. They actually now have sort of a platform that you can throw in the bed of the truck. It's very simple. It's just a flat surface and it has sort of two long legs that extend the length of the truck bed underneath them. So that platform serves as a really cool place for you to just sleep on, throw a mattress on, and then you can throw stuff underneath you. So I thought that was a neat idea. And then they had like a storage box and some other stuff. They're definitely coming up with many ideas of what you can do with inflatables.
There was one of their toppers was in the lake.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So yeah, in addition to bringing a swimsuit, you might want to bring a floaty too, because it's kind of fun to float in the lake. But if you didn't, then they had one of their canopies upside down.
Take the topper off of your car.
Yeah.
And then paddle it around the lake.
Yeah, if you're ever desperate and you're like, crap, I forgot my paddleboard. Well, I've got my topper, so here we go.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
Yeah.
Well, we saw Hest again. This is my third time seeing them this year. They're like at all the shows. They're doing well. Good old Hest, except there was a different person there for this show. So I was really happy to meet them. And I caved and I ended up buying the chair cushion because it's so comfortable. So that is in the mail to me right now. Nice. And then while I was there, I was petting the cutest dog ever. I shouldn't say that. I have two cute dogs and you have a cute dog too. But I was petting this cute little dog and then I managed to convince her to go sit in the chairs. I was like, you just have to go sit in there. Just try it out. And she did. And she ended up buying two of them. So that's pretty funny.
Nice.
It doesn't take much.
Yeah, I forgot I wanted to check out their seat pad meant for chairs or car seats. And so I wasn't able to get a show deal from them because I just forgot to do it. But I did order one from REI on my way back. So that'll be arriving sometime this week as well.
Nice. I don't know if they were doing the show deals on any of the seats or anything like that.
Yeah, I think it's one of their newer things that they might not have. It would have been no tax, I guess. But
yeah,
with my REI, I get the 15% because of the credit card. So I get.
Oh, nice.
It probably would have been pretty similar in the end anyways. So no big deal.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah. Was there anything else vendor-wise that you checked out?
Henry was cool. I'd never heard of them, but I'm also not really in that world.
Rifles or guns in general? Or okay.
Yep.
And they had a whole shooting range set up, right?
They did.
Yeah.
It's like the Wild West out there.
Well, it's kind of funny because like where we were camping was like the closest to this shooting range, but they had suppressors on the rifles. So all you could hear was the ping of the target getting hit.
Yeah, it was like ding, ding, ding. It kind of sounded like, have you ever been in Switzerland and the cows are just hanging out in the mountains and they've got those bells on and it's just like ding, ding, ding. It kind of like sounded like that to me.
That is a very specific reference.
Yeah, it kind of sounded like that to me. So I was like, oh, whatever. You know, I've definitely slept to worse sounds.
Just brought you back to Switzerland. Okay, that works.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Cool.
There were so many cool vendors. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
surprised to see Aether there because they're an apparel vendor. So we don't usually see that. We usually
They were
see
in an
gear.
Airstream, which was pretty cool. That was a very
Yeah,
neat retail setup they had going there.
it was. The whole inside was built out beautifully.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So we had mentioned the classes. They had a bunch of interesting ones at this one. Honestly, I will say the Friday for me was a bit of a whiff as far as the classes went. For one, I was just really dealing with my allergy issues. I had one good one, Micah from Overlanding Under Budget. He did sort of an intro to welding, and that was useful to get an idea of like all the various components that are necessary to get to welding. And
Right.
it's kind of a lot, but also it's conceptually easy, which I thought was cool. I think it was useful for me to go to that because it made me realize that it's enough stuff that with me not having a shop, I don't want to get into it because it's just like just storing the stuff alone is more than I want
Yeah.
to get into. And that's not even including the materials you'd have to be buying, to actually do the welding and whatnot. But it was helpful to get an idea of, okay, well, if I ever do have a shop later on, then now I have an idea of basically what that's about. But otherwise, yeah, the rest of the ones of the day, I missed the second one. The third one, ARB had Fred Williams talking, which was cool because Fred is awesome. I'm a big fan of Dirt Every Day back when it was on. And he's kind of this OG hero of the community. So that was neat just to see him. But I think his talk was just a little too vague to be like educational in any sense. So it's just more,
Yeah.
for me, sort of a starstruck experience than anything else.
You guys kept getting rejected by the cooking classes too.
Oh yeah, we tried. You have to get there. You have to get there like an hour before, I think, if you really want a spot. So, because they only had like
Yeah.
7 or 8 stations.
Yep. They didn't have that many stations and they had a lot of people that wanted to go. And if you didn't get a station, then you didn't get to sit through the class and cook together with them.
Yeah, you just kind of sit there and watch other people cook, and the instructors are walking around and giving people individual tips, and you're just like, well, this is not great. And also, it was kind of hot underneath that
Yeah.
canopy too. So it was one that wouldn't airflow well. It just kind of held onto the heat like a dome. So that wasn't awesome.
Yeah.
We tried the Utah Traverse one, which I had mixed feelings about. There was a really good tip that was given in the Utah Traverse talk, and that was that if you have an east-west trail, he recommended taking it from west to east because the sun rises in the east in the morning and you're having a casual morning, the sun's rising up. And then when you eventually hit the trail in the afternoon, the sun's going to be overhead. And if you're still on the trail in the evening, the sun's going to be behind you rather than you driving into the sun. So I was like, that's actually a pretty good tip to hold on to.
Yeah, that is a good tip to kind of think about how you drive and when you drive.
Yeah. But the rest of his presentation, I forget the guy's name. He's I think he's on the Overland Journal podcast pretty regularly.
It was Xavier. Sinhu Xavier?
Yes, that sounds right. Yeah. And then we had been in the sun all day and I was just feeling really tired. And he was talking about the really cool things in Utah because Utah is amazing. And I really liked how he was like kind of pointing out, it's like, this is one of the most incredible areas in the entire country. And it's like all in this one area. But I needed to be more story based. It felt a little bit too slideshowy for me, so it wasn't keeping me awake. So I think we popped out for the lake after a while.
We did. We're like, I'm going to the lake. I would say that overall the trainings and the talks were very well attended. You could tell that people were there to learn. Like that is one of the reasons they want to go. Onyx was giving a few talks as well. And I went in there because the lab was air conditioned, but when you get about 80 people in there, it's not air conditioned anymore.
It's also so far away from everything else too, though. Like you have to
drive there. Yeah. So the class was regarding how to find a great dispersed campsite. And what's interesting about that topic is that we've talked about that several times before. And it made me think, Garrick, of when you offered that class to us. So it was just for your friends.
Yeah.
You said over the group chat, hey, we'll just come to my house and I'll show you guys how to do it. And we're all like, yep. And then we all came and brought our computers and you helped get us set up with our accounts and making sure that we were good. And then you went through Gaia and Onyx, I believe, to kind of show the differences. And then I think that was really valuable to be able to do that. So I can see why that was a very heavily attended event to say, like,
for sure.
Okay, I have this technology, but like, how can I make it work for me?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it's something we should maybe think about doing and offering to our listeners too, because it seems like a hot topic.
Yeah, I probably would have to do it as a YouTube video and then just kind of narrate as I'm doing it, sort of deal. So I
Mm-hmm.
could have a screen view and then just narrate as I'm going along. But yeah, that's just me paying it forward. I actually learned from Matt McClellan of Ozark Overland Adventures. That's
Oh, yeah.
I learned from his videos, and
Wow.
that's
Okay.
yeah, because I knew it had a high learning curve to it, so it was really handy to have some guidance like that. So I totally understand why people have that perspective.
Did you want to talk about your favorite talk?
Yeah, I was poo-pooing Friday a little bit, but Saturday, as far as classes are concerned, were actually all bangers for me. I finally got to attend a first aid talk where the person showed up.
When in doubt, try again.
Right? Yeah, exactly. The one I attended was Critical First Aid for the Overlander by Dan Barela.
Oh.
This was excellent. It was like the full 90 minutes, and Dan kind of focused on 3 critical life-saving things you can learn. One being a tourniquet, 2 being using gauze bandages to fill a wound, and 3 being a chest seal, which I had never even heard of before. And those are all the things where it's like you need to do something fast so that you can make sure somebody survives until they can get definitive care, which could be anything between just in the ambulance or full on level 1 trauma center like we have here in Harbor Center in Seattle. So that was fantastic. Great presentation. It also makes you realize that you're not going to learn it all in 90 minutes. You're only going to learn one piece. So it's definitely something that you can benefit from going to additional classes. It doesn't even have to be his. They do a bunch of classes, but mostly for professional services like firefighters and nurses and stuff like that. But you have classes locally, for sure.
Well, wait, I have wilderness first aid. I don't know what a chest seal is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's related to if you have a puncture and it goes to your lungs, and then your lungs are then putting out air in the cavity around them. So you need to stop that. So basically, you have to close up the hole with this chest seal so that will stop happening. And so kind of wild, right?
What is so it's not an animal. What's the seal?
I feel like you're just trying to get me to say that really dirty joke.
What? What? I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't tell the joke on this and maintain our clean rating, so I'm sorry. If you're listening to this and you want to know the dirty seal joke, just ask me and I'll tell you in person.
Okay, so how do you seal the chest? No, seriously.
It's like the material where it has adhesive on it. So you have to pull off the adhesive and then just put it on their chest. Now, if it's a male and they have a hairy chest, you're going to have to do a wax pull. So from one of the sides, you have to
oh my God,
pull it off and then get sure it's on there. Yeah.
Right.
So they're saying, I think potentially when you pull the seal, if you have 2 of them, you could use one seal to remove the hair and then use the second one to actually put it on there. Or if you have duct tape, that would work too. So yeah, kind of wild.
Yikes.
Yeah. So yeah, that one was fantastic. The next one we attended, all 3 of us actually attended. I didn't even know you guys were there until afterwards because I came late because I was at the first one for a while. But the overlanding in Africa plus the Brai tasting, which is spelled Brai, I think.
That's because you were sitting in the front row in the first seat and we came late. So there's no way we're going to come join you in the front row.
I don't know.
Excuse me.
I arrived late and I went right to the front. I was like, there's plenty of seats up there, so I'm just going to jump right in there.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. But that was cool because it was really interesting to hear about overlanding in Africa. It sounds like Botswana is the place to go if you go out that way. But then the food tasting that it was so good.
Yeah.
He was saying that there's like a big barbecue culture in South Africa. And so they actually barbecued up. It was like lamb and sausage. And then they made, what was the other dishes?
Was it a corn? Like grits almost?
Yeah, it was a grit like. And then they had some sauce you put on top of that. There was like a grilled cheese, essentially sandwich, but it was like an upscale grilled cheese sandwich. And there was like a milk tart dessert.
Oh, the dessert was good.
Yeah.
It was like a milk bar. Really good.
I took pills, so I had a very tiny little amount because I could tell those were super lactose.
You're like, whoa, Terry.
Yeah. But yeah, I think most of us went around for seconds because it was so good. That actually, I think that ended up being my lunch that day. So yeah, that was awesome. And then why don't you lead us into the last talk given by Dan Grecht?
Oh, right. I was going to say, I forgot his last name. So thank you. Yeah, led by Dan Grecht. It was First International Travel Iceland. And we had to go ask him beforehand what that meant. And it was 2 against 1, Garrick and Zach, 1 against me, which was, it actually means if you're headed on your first international overlanding trip, Iceland is a great place to start. So he gave a presentation about this. He told us about that too. He said that he was hurriedly working on his presentation in the car while they were going somewhere, and he was like trying to get that done. He did a great job. It was an excellent presentation. The content was amazing, and it was gripping from the first moment that he started talking. He was talking about some really granular stuff like logistics and emailing and getting your car across and all those little things.
Yeah, but he made it engaging and really made it
Very
made it feel like, yeah, you can do this. This is easy. This is all you have to do. It's not insane.
And Zach was definitely fanboying out because he has watched Dan Gregg, I guess, for a while. And so he really was excited to meet him and speak to him. So that was really cool.
Yeah, for sure. This also gave me another sort of data point about rig dimensions because Dan had used, I believe it was I can't remember if it was a Gladiator or not. It might have just been a regular Jeep Wrangler, but then he had built out this complete back camper on it. But anyways, he had this whole hard-sided camper that also had a pop top, and he shipped that via a shipping container. And there's a couple of different lengths of shipping containers. For cars, you usually do a 20 or 40-foot one.
Mhm.
So for a shorter vehicle like a Jeep, that's pretty easy to pull off within a 20-footer. I was actually looking because previous to Expo, we'd heard about the 22-foot being a limit for going to national parks. So I was like, okay, don't have a rig longer than 22 feet. This, if you have a rig longer than 20 feet, then you're not gonna be able to fit one of those 20-footers, right? You're gonna have to go for a 40 and maybe even less. It might be something that's even closer. I was looking at potentially getting a Ford Ranger, but also I'm considering an F-150. And the F-150 with the regular size bed and the, not even the crew, but the super cab version is 19.3 feet. So
oh, wow.
maybe it could fit into the 20-footer, but maybe not. But
if it says 20 foot, you should be able to fit it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's exterior dimensions though. So that's something you have to find out. Dan also did make a point though. It's like, well, if you're going with a buddy, you guys can both get like 40-footer together and then just put 2 of your rigs into one 40-footer. And I think it's actually cheaper than having 2 separate 20-footers.
All the information he had to give was really super useful, I feel like. All these little tips and tricks he had for Iceland.
And Iceland sounds extreme weather-wise, but also very safe, cultural and people-wise. It sounds like the Icelanders are just happy, welcoming people. And then the cost of shipping wasn't like crazy. For the 24, I think it was like $3,000 each way, something like that.
If you do a
like
return,
6,000 round trip, So, not cheap amount of money, but if you think back to, I don't remember what episode Anne was on, but I think she said she spent $5,000 just in fuel getting up to Alaska and back. So that's in the realm of a big overland trip, expedition, really. And we'll be talking about that topic in a future episode real soon here too. So listen for that. Yeah. I think the only other one thing I wanted to say about camping is that meeting your neighbors, this was the same as the Expo, but we had some good neighbors that we hung out with and spent a lot of time talking to at this event. So yeah, if you're listening, Matt, hello. Yeah, no, they're really cool. Yeah, you can catch their daughter's name. But yeah, so always a good opportunity to meet like-minded individuals and swap stories and all that.
Yeah, for sure. It's really cool. People have different reasons for coming to things. So it's nice to hear.
Absolutely. Was there anything else you wanted to highlight about the event, Melody?
They did have a pretty legit tech course from what we heard from all the people that went on it. They also had a women's only. There was Rebel. I went to a Rebel class that was really great. They do the Rebel Rally, but they also give courses in and around relating to navigation and the rally itself. So, yeah, there's a tech course, and then there's that back 400 that we talked about, and then you can test drive Rivians and Ineos, or you could drive your own vehicle. So I thought that was really neat. It's kind of fun.
I am a little bummed that we didn't do the tech course with Rivian because I think that would have been really interesting. The back 400 was neat, though. It had a couple of obstacles here and there. It had pretty good grades on it. And I think there was one point where it was kind of articulating a little bit. we saw the tech course as we were going up it. And I was like, dang, they got some cool stuff down there. That would be a neat thing to test out the capabilities of your rig.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool.
No, I thought it was really great. I'm glad we got to go. Wish I could have taken a little bit more time off, but it was
So it is.
Right. So it goes. And then we drove all the way back. I would say that poor Zach had to listen to us talk on the radio like the whole way back and some of the way there. Poor guy.
Yeah. We actually ended up leaving on Saturday night so that we could get a little bit of head start and not have to do the 11-hour drive back on Sunday, which I think was a smart move. And we actually camped very close to the top of Lookout Pass, which I thought was pretty cool because I've driven past so many times. So it was neat to say that I've actually camped there now. So and that was really good because it was so hot out everywhere. So we got to go to the highest elevation in the area. So that was smart.
It was 73 degrees when we arrived. I was like, oh, thank goodness.
And that was at like 11/10 because we were like right on the border of 2 time zones.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, so it was great. If you're thinking about going and you have any other questions, drop us a line. Be happy to answer. And yeah, maybe we'll see you at the next big thing.
Yeah. And if you met us at the expo and you are subscribing to us, the big thing or the expo actually, then hello, and we're happy to have you.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, with that, we shall call it a wrap.
If you want to get in touch with us by email, let us know what you think. remotetrailsradio@gmail.com.
RTR, over and out.